Hello, Scorpio. Elsie here to do your weekly read. How are you doing, my friends? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. I appreciate you. Look, we've got one Oracle deck that we're using this week, and then we're going to throw some tarot, and we're going to talk about this week about your reset, because look, tomorrow is the 20th of February, and I don't know if you know that there is a cosmic anomaly that's showing up, which is Saturn and Neptune showing up in Aries at 0 degrees, which hasn't happened in over 300 years. Saturn and Neptune have not been in conjunction in Aries for over 300 years, back in the 1700s, friends. So you're in unprecedented times. And you know, Saturn and Neptune, they just came from Pisces. And so where you were, you know, Pisces was getting you to feel it, getting you to dream the dream. And now Aries is the taskmaster. Let's go. Let's put some energy behind it, action behind it, and let's get it done. So I know you're tired of being in unprecedented times, Scorpio, but look, if anybody's got the chutzpah to do it, it's you. Let's find out what's going on for you, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. At the end of this reading, I will tell you all about the new sale that's on for private reads and about the extended reads. All right. Give me cards. Tell me about Scorpio. Thank you. All right. Wow. That's a whole lot, right? We'll take one from here. We'll take one from there. And then we'll put these back and we will get one more here. We've got the door. Haha, I kind of like that. I was looking at this knot. The knot says unsuccessful plans, but then it says opportunities are waiting for you. So something has failed because it's supposed to. You were not supposed to go down that road, and the reason it didn't work out is because it wasn't for you. I feel like you turning away from whatever was unsuccessful was necessary for you to take another door. That's what it feels like. What do we got here? It says shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. Well, look, I feel like it's like in your business, if you're growing a business, maybe the place where you work in someone else's business, but it also could be just, look, your 3D business, all up in your business. Do you know what I mean? So we've got the scales. Oh, I like it. Look at that. I like it. It says, keep your life in balance. Your life is about to get back in balance, friend. So anything that's been going on that has been keeping you off balance, I feel your shrewdness, whatever that is, you already have the skills and the resources. It feels like magician energy. You've got the shrewdness, my friend, to take the door, because it feels like something was unsuccessful on purpose. You were supposed to turn away from that thing, and the only way to make you turn away was to make it fail, I feel, because look, you're not going to get Scorpio to move in a different direction. When you got your eye on something, you're going to keep going. So unless it falls apart, you're going to keep going and trying to make it work. Okay, let's get some cards for you here, Scorpio. Let's talk about this. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Please remember, this is not just a reading for Scorpio Sun. It's also for Scorpio Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. So if I speak about other energies, that's why. Tell me about Scorpio. Tell me about Scorpio. So if you had a business thing that fell apart, it was supposed to, so you would take the other door, Scorpio. We have the Hanged Man. This is going to give you perspective. I feel that your reset is coming up as once you take this door and you go to the place you're supposed to be, you're going to be like, oh, I see. Now I get it. Tell me about the unsuccessful plans. Yeah, there's something here that you've been waiting on. You've been waiting for the situation to change, or you've been waiting for some sort of something to show up, or you've been waiting for an answer. I feel like this falls apart. I'm going to say, whatever you've been waiting on, I don't think it's going to work out. And I feel like it's to push you in a different direction. Tell me about opportunities that are waiting for you behind the door. Well, look at that. Look at that. We've got Temperance. It's the moment of alchemy. So in the moment of alchemy, everything's perfect. It's the perfect, it's like when a woman gets pregnant, your body has to be in this perfect place in order to get pregnant. And it's like that. It's like this is the only perfect time for you to walk through the door. So whatever you had planned up to here was simply just plans you were putting in place. And I feel like you've been waiting and waiting and waiting on someone, something in the 3D, time, effort, energy, money. Maybe you've been waiting on someone to put effort in on you, relationship-wise, friendship-wise. But the reason it hasn't been working is because something way better was coming up. We'll talk more about that. The Hanged Man here is here with the shrewdness and the resourcefulness. So it feels like here that you were in a pause so so you could sort of look at all aspects of the shrewdness and resourcefulness that has been blessed upon you by the universe, so you could get a different perspective. I feel like you were in a pause for a reason. But I also feel that your reset is all about no more pause. It feels like tomorrow is the day that things begin to move again. We've got the King of Cups. So there was something hiding under the surface that I feel you weren't seeing. It feels like, I'm going to say that you have been quietly going through something tumultuous. We see the King here, and that's your energy, that's Scorpio energy. Of course, we're in a reading that is general. Please remember that. And that is Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer energy. So it feels like you were in some sort of tumultuous energy that was going on under the surface, and you weren't allowing anybody to see it on the surface. It almost feels like the Seven of Pentacles is something like, I had all the details. I know that it was right. Why are they making me wait for the loan? Why are they making me wait for a decision? Why aren't they putting in the effort that I want them to put in? And I feel like it was causing this emotional turmoil under the surface. But listen, Neptune and Saturn that are in conjunction in Aries tomorrow, they were also just in together in Pisces. And so you were feeling it emotionally. You were dreaming what you wanted, Seven of Pentacles, but you were feeling it emotionally. So I feel like with them both moving into and so close proximity of each other in Aries, that's when the moment of alchemy shows up. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. It sure does. Look at that. The Nine of Pentacles tells me you now have the answer. Now I'm confident about it. Now I know I can do it on my own. Maybe you were waiting for someone to come save you. Look, I've never met an Aries or a Scorpio that was waiting for someone to come save them. But I'm going to say that I feel like you feel like, why was I waiting? I can do this by myself. I can do it on my own. It's like all of a sudden you take this confidence that you've been building for a long time, and you stand up and you're like, I don't have to wait for you. I don't have to wait for your decision. I don't have to wait for you to give me effort, time, or energy. I can do it on my own. That's what it feels like here. We've got the Two of Wands. I love this because look, whenever there is whenever there's something major shifting in your life, that's when the universe is always going to bring us back to the twos. When it comes to tarot, that's over and over again. I always see that when a major decision is about to show up, the universe will always bring you back to the twos because you have agency. Look, you don't have to do any of this just because tarot says it's going to happen. You don't have to do any of this. But I feel like the Two of Wands is telling me you're being brought back to the crossroads because you do have a choice. Which way do you want to go? Either way you go, whether it's this way or that way, each of them has their own lesson. What lesson are you wanting to take? So I feel like you've been waiting around for a long time for something to change, or for something to be approved, or for someone to give you more effort, time, or energy. You've been waiting for these scales to balance, but you've been waiting for someone else to give their input in order for the scales to balance. And I don't think that you realize that you can just do it alone. Oh, look at that. Justice. I love tarot, you guys. It never ceases to amaze me. It's always amusing, if nothing else. We've got, it's always for entertainment, right? We've got the Justice card. The Queen of Swords. I love it. The Queen of Swords is shrewd. This is the person who is resourceful. This is the person with all of the answers. And if they don't have all the answers, they're a person who knows how to be resourceful enough to get the answers. So look, we have Justice here. I feel like the sword of justice is swinging here. I feel like it's cutting you out of the tree. I feel like it stops you from your pause, stops you from just hanging there and waiting for something to happen. And the Ten of Wands tells me you get to drop a burden of being silent, because the Queen of Swords is never going to be silent in a situation where she knows the answer. Always going to say what is on her mind, going to liberate herself from a situation and say, no, that's not what's going on here. So I feel like Justice tells me something comes back into balance, but I feel like it's really a restoration of some sort. It's like your confidence is restored. You have a restored confidence in the universe. You're like, oh, I wasn't supposed to wait for somebody else to come help me. I was supposed to find the courage to do it on my own. The Strength card is on the bottom of the deck. Let's talk about the Seven of Pentacles. Because what were you waiting for? I feel like you were waiting for maybe someone to ask you to move in, or someone to love you if it's romantic, or something like that. You were waiting on someone else to give you the go-ahead instead of just saying, no, you know what? I don't think I'm going to wait anymore. I think I'm going to go the other direction because I feel like there's another door there somewhere. I feel like you had to get tired of waiting. The Seven of Pentacles is bringing up the Emperor. Look, I cannot write a story this good. The Emperor. All that waiting turns you into the person who decides to take back their power, who decides, I'm going to be the one making the decisions here. I'm not waiting on anyone to give me an answer, give me approval, give me their time, effort, or energy. I'm taking control of the situation. We've got the Seven of Swords. Why is that? Because you don't trust the situation. I feel like for some of you, if you're the person who has the lens and you're looking at this as a romantic reading, because look, we all come here with different lens, right? And so if you're looking at this as a romantic reading, I feel that you were keeping your feelings under the surface, waiting for someone else to say I love you, or waiting for someone else to say I really want you in my life. I feel like the Seven of Swords is a concealing of somebody's feelings. So maybe somebody wasn't telling you that they loved you, and so you weren't saying it, or somebody wasn't asking you out, so you weren't asking any questions. I feel like you decide to take control of the situation and dig into what's going on in the Seven Swords. I feel like you were waiting on a person. For others of you, I feel like you were waiting on an answer, but I don't think you trusted the situation. I feel like you think that somebody was being shady under the surface as it pertains to money, effort, time, or energy. And it feels like, or practicality, it feels like somebody here, you're like, no, they're missing the point. They're missing the details. They don't have all the analytics. Why do I have to wait when someone here who is less skilled than the Emperor is trying to make a decision about my life? I think you decide to take control of it. Whatever the situation is, you decide to take control of it and say, no, this is taking way too long, because the Knight of Cups is the passive knight, right? It's the one who's in dreamland, fantasy land, right? By the way, that's Piscean energy, and that's where Saturn and Neptune just came from, where we were dreaming things, feeling things, it was sort of Delulu energy. It's going to happen. Don't worry about it. I won't worry about it. But when everything moves into Aries tomorrow, on the 20th of February, that's where we take action. That's where the moment of alchemy shows up. You realize there is another direction, another door, another choice as you're learning to take back your power here in this Emperor energy. Your intuition goes, hey, you. It's now time to go. Temperance is working with the High Priestess, saying, look, this is your moment. This is your moment to go through the door. You've got enough information. You've observed long enough. It feels like the Page of Swords being in the reverse is telling me I've got enough information that I need right now in order to make a decision that my inward universe, my intuition has been telling me to make all along. The Four of Wands. This could be about moving out of a home, the sale of a house. This could also be about going to the next level. So possibly instead of waiting for someone to say I love you, or waiting for someone to say should we move in together, or should I move out, it feels like you take control of the situation and decide to make your decision without waiting for someone else's input. Because I feel like this the 9 of Pentacles next to the 7 of Pentacles is significant. It feels like you've been feeling tumultuous under the surface. Your emotions have been everywhere, but you've been keeping stoic on the surface because this is where you were, stuck at the 2 of Wands with the plan. You had a plan and nothing was going to plan, and I think that was what the problem was here. Tell me about the 9 of Pentacles. How are you going to take charge? I feel like as we shift into tomorrow and after that, I feel like you start to gain more confidence, pardon me, or You start to have this energy of, I can do this on my own. I can go to the next level by myself. I have enough information. My intuition is on point, and the moment of alchemy is here. We've got the 5 of Cups. We've got the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the King of Wands. So look, I feel like the 5 of Cups shows up with the 9 of Pentacles because you're like, it looks like I'm going to have to do this my damn self. Yeah. I can't wait anymore. I'm not going to wait anymore because I know my worth, because the 9 of Pentacles is the pre-Empress energy. I know my worth. I know what I have. I know what I've saved. I know that I have enough information. I've saved enough money, that I have enough education. She's holding a book. Somebody here has learned their worth. And I feel like the 5 of Cups tells me, well, I've got to make this decision to do it on my own. So maybe you're leaving a relationship. We got the 5 of Cups, like this isn't going to feel good. This is going to hurt like hell, but I need my stability. I need to stand up as the Queen of Pentacles and say, I need stability. I need to take care of my health. I need to take care of my money. I need to build my business. Maybe this is you building a business. It feels like you have decided to use the wisdom of the King of Wands to use controlled burns everywhere. You're going to burn that. You're going to burn that. I don't need that bridge. I don't need that bridge. You're not going to set the whole place on fire, because the King of Wands has learned to control their fire. I feel like you have the wisdom to know which bridges to burn that are going to give you your stability. Let's talk about the 2 of Wands and the King of Cups, because I feel like the King of Cups is a little bit in this. These waves are crashing in, tumultuous emotional waves, because I feel like you were feeling stuck at the 2 of Wands, and I don't think you're stuck there. I feel like you are that you had a plan that someone else was not cool with, or you were waiting for someone else to get in on your plan. And I think you realize that you don't need anybody else to get in on your plan. There it is, my friend. You never needed anyone to get in on your plan. You were always able to make it so in the 3D. You were always able to materialize it in the 3D all by yourself. Because look, we've got the 8 of Wands and the Death card. I've got to end it. I've got to end whatever this is. Maybe it's the end of waiting, because the 8 of Wands is about movement, right? Quick movement forward. So it's like velocity. It could be travel. Maybe you've been waiting for someone to say yes to the trip of a lifetime, and they're not giving you any information. They're not giving you any money or time or effort toward it. And I feel like the Death card is telling me something transforms. And so I want to say, with the 6 of Wands being in the reverse, I don't think that you're necessarily looking for kudos. I don't think you need anyone to back you up, to be honest. I feel like you've been going through a dark night of the soul all on your own. And it does feel like the scales are being balanced in your favor here. We've got your scales being balanced here. So listen, we're going to put 3 cards down, and we're going to go to the extended. If you want to be with us in the extended, please look at the top of the comments. There's one pinned comment that'll give you a link to the membership area. And if you want to be in the membership area with us, please take that link. If you're interested in a private reading, there is a sale that begins tomorrow on February 20th and runs through the 4th of March. And it is 10% off the pre-recorded readings. I haven't had a pre-recorded reading sale in a couple of months. So it's time to give that back to you. And I have set up a specific reading for this time frame we're going through, the big reset. What is your personal reset? If you want to know about that, you can get 10% off of that. There's a code in the pinned comment, so take the pin code and go ahead and book your reading with me. So look, we have going into the extended here, we have the King of Pentacles, we have the Star, and we also have the 6 of Swords. And so what's moving forward is your wish fulfillment, friend. You've taken control of all of the details, your damn self. I love it. You've built yourself a kingdom, my friend. And it feels like it's now time to move to move forward with hope, with clarity, because this is Aquarian energy, and it's time to move to a calmer place. So we've got the bottom of the deck. You get out of this 8 of Swords and this 4 of Pentacles energy, and you get out of the worry, and it's time to forge forward with the Knight of Wands bravely. We're going to go into the extended, and we're going to talk about the rest of this. If you're interested in hearing more about what's going on here, then please go to the extended link in the pinned comment. If you're also interested in a live reading, I'm doing live readings as well. So if you're interested in a live reading, you can get a live reading with me between 5 and 75% off when you book ahead. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back, because I'm always back, Scorpio, just for you. I'm going to go. Take care. Bye-bye.